Hello, Scott Spencer, founder and owner of Dental Growth Solutions, and thank you today for joining me. I'm going to discuss a topic that's confusing, it's exciting. I get more questions about this topic than any other topic in online marketing. So I wanted to take some time today and just explain this, and I'm going to talk about social media. As I said, I get more questions about this than any other topic with online marketing. And specifically I want to start by talking about, what is social media? And essentially, and I'll try to sum it up in one sentence, social media is the use of websites or applications to share or to create or to share content or just to participate in social networking. And so really that's essentially what it is. Now, there's so many different components of it, which I'm going to go through with you today. But if you're a dentist out there and you've been confused about social media, or maybe you've just totally neglected it, take 10 minutes here. I'm going to keep this really streamlined today, but I can guarantee you're going to find this valuable, and certainly it's going to clear up a number of questions for you. So let's start by addressing, why is social media important? And first there's three main areas that you look at when you look at the importance of social media. And I'm going to start by talking about the social network aspect of it. I ask many dentists on a consistent basis, and I've been in this industry 14 years, and I ask them, word of mouth referrals, what types of patients are your best patients? And the answer is always the same: word of mouth referrals. So the real question is, how do we get more word of mouth referrals? Well, when you look at it, the best and most cost-effective way to generate more referrals is to build your social network. And I'm talking about Facebook and Google Plus and Twitter and Instagram. There's all kinds of different social accounts. But the best way to do that is to build that network. And as you get more likes and followers, you reach out to more of the community. And in doing that, it builds your social network. And let me tell you, friends trust friends. If your friend values your services and your other friend can see that, they will at least, I'm not saying they'll all choose you as their dentist, but at least they'll take consideration in your services, because I know from personal experience, we trust our friends, we value their opinions, and in doing that, it's a very important aspect of marketing these days. So, second part I want to talk about is stronger social signals. The way Google works today is social signals are actually a ranking factor. And what we're finding is a correlation between the ranking of websites and how strong your social signals are. And when I'm talking about social signals, I'm talking about the number of likes. I'm talking about the number of followers. I'm talking about the post, the engagement, the reach. All those statistics that are generated from your social media account actually are fed to Google. They're fed to Yahoo and Bing and the search engines. So the stronger those signals are, the more reliable, the more credible, the more relevant Google considers you as a business. And so it's very important. And if you look in competitive markets, you'll notice that one consistent ranking factor is that the sites that rank at the top always have strong social signals. So very, very important part of not just your network, but also ranking. And thirdly, increasing brand awareness. Certainly as we post more, and that's my job, of course, but as we post and we get more activity and information on your social media accounts, it spreads the awareness of your brand. And I'm not just talking about your company name. I'm talking about your logo, your colors, your image, so that when people see you in your community, they associate that image and that brand with your company. And so certainly very important, and like I said, a very valuable aspect of marketing your practice. So I'm going to show you, let's just look at a couple statistics here that will show you just how important social media is. First of all, 71% of consumers with good social media experience will recommend that brand to other people, to other friends. So certainly you want to make sure that not only do you have social media accounts set up, but that you're making it a good experience for people on there. You're posting interesting, engaging content. You have great reviews posted on there. You want to make sure that you create a positive experience so they can share it with their friends. Very, very important part. Also, You see, there's 1.65 billion active social media accounts globally. 1.65 billion. And on top of that, there's 1 million new social users added every single year. So, it shows you the sheer volume of people that are using social media accounts. And it's just amazing that the rate it's growing, 1 million every day, shows you that you need to be active. And if you're not, you're missing out on a huge source of new patients for your practice. So now that we've discussed how important social media is, I want to talk a little bit more about how my social media program works. What makes it different? And like I said, what makes it so effective? You look at it, and ultimately, you know, when you look at my social media program, first word that comes to mind is comprehensive. I focus on all of the different social media channels. The Facebook, Google+, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. So again, you name it, I specialize in it. That's one of the nice aspects of my social media, program. Now, with that being said, I do customize and tailor. So I want to make clear that when you work with me, you're not getting a my social practice approach, or all of these mass social media companies. Doesn't work. I make it very clear. It is not a very effective way to grow your social media network. Here's the reason why. You have to have unique posts. You have to have a unique approach based on what you need in your market and what your competitors have. Because remember, you're competing against them. You don't have to be perfect. You do have to be superior to your competitors. So, how do we do that? Talk a little bit about how we grow your social network. So first thing I do is I look at if you have existing social media accounts, Facebook, Google+, we want to make sure we use those. We want to make sure we build on what you have, the likes, the followers, the network. So certainly that's a no-brainer. Now, if you don't have them, I typically set them up from scratch. Regardless, I always make sure whether you have them or you don't have them, we want to brand them to match your brand, make sure they're formatted correctly, keywords are in place, make sure that the everything's in place so it can be indexed the best way possible. Okay. Now, my focus, 4 main areas: Facebook, Google+, YouTube, LinkedIn. Now, those are the 4 I traditionally focus on. Facebook, I think that's a no-brainer. It is the largest social media outlet in the entire country, and in the entire world for that matter. Again, millions of users. I think, like I said, the impact speaks. I mean, people say Facebook, the kind of impact it can have on your business. But again, what I do is my goal with all of these social media is to make your accounts like an online magazine. So what I do is I take your account and I post interesting, relevant content on a weekly basis. I turn it into the most interesting, engaging magazine you're going to see. So, whether it's infographics, videos, articles, statistics, interesting pictures, I use all the tools to make sure it's going to be engaging for patients. And remember, engagement is what? It generates activity and likes and followers and builds your social network. So the idea is when patients come into your office, we want to make sure we send them, they have a chance to grab a magazine, they can grab their cell phone. The idea is for them to get on your Facebook account in the waiting room and like you and follow you. And again, my job is to make it interesting. So that's what we do. It's a great technique I use to build your account, and it works incredibly well. So that's certainly a technique I use. Obviously, like I said, the content's posted regularly, so it continues to grow and grow and grow. Same thing with Google+. Posting interesting content, building the network. Again, more likes, more followers, better indexing. It's a consistent recipe with Google. And remember, Google+ is ranking for the maps, so you want to make sure that's an especially important account for social media. Thirdly, YouTube. YouTube, many people don't know, it's the second biggest search engine. So compared to Google, next to Google, it's the second biggest search engine. Google owns YouTube. So if you can get engaging YouTube videos on your site, Google loves it. It always is an improved ranking factor. And so the idea, what I do, is I try to generate YouTube videos. If you have them, we put them on your site, we build backlinks to them, we make sure they're set up in a way where they're going to get good ranking factors. Certainly subscriptions, likes, so on, but we want to make sure that those YouTube videos are formatted so they're effective. On top of that, they help with patient engagement. You get videos on your site, it reduces the bounce rate. Another big ranking factor. You want to get patients engaged. There's no better way to do that than to get great videos on your site. So that's my job, certainly a very important part of that social media. Fourthly, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is one of those, it's not the most critical social media account. It is one you don't want to neglect. You want to have a professional social LinkedIn account set up. That's what we do. We make sure it's formatted correctly with a bio and a picture, and make sure you have a good profile in there with good keywords and so on. And then make links back to your site. But again, you want to make sure when people look you up, whether it's referring doctor, whether it's other doctors or competitors, you have a professional profile in there. And if people look you up, prospective patients, you have a good profile in there. So that's important. Then you look at the other three: Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram. I call them the supplementary ones. I take them on a case-by-case basis. If you're in a very competitive market, sometimes it's very important to address those accounts, especially when many of your competitors have them, so you don't want to not have them. On the flip side, in many markets, they're not needed. Like I said, I really take it on a case-by-case basis. But regardless, the strategy is the same. Post it, and set them up in a branded professional manner, post engaging content, build your social network. Very, very important strategy, and it will work incredibly well. So now the real question you dentists are asking, what makes you different, Scott? I work with social practice, I work with all these, these social media companies that they market by the mass. This is boutique. This is customized, as we talked about before. Very, very important to remember that the way I approach it is dramatically different. You're not getting recirculated posts that 5,000 other dentists are getting. You're getting a post unique to yourself. So very, very important to understand. Now, what makes it so unique? First of all, I do extensive research to determine how much social media you need. So when I do, it's not cookie cutter. When I set up a strategy for your social media, I'm looking at what the top doctors in your market have. How often are they posting on Facebook? Do they have a Twitter? What are they? How aggressively are they marketing it? Pinterest and Instagram and so on. So I look at what they have and make sure we have a strategy set up so you can look superior to them. You can get stronger social signals than they have. So very, very important part. Secondly, you get unique posts. I think I mentioned that just now. The posts that I create are going to be for you. If you're in Miami, they're going to be for the Miami market, and they're going to be for your specialty and your niche. So it's very important to remember that when I create posts, my post, and what I do is I use software, and I determine which content's resonating best in the community, by the likes and shares, and I can see all the statistics, and then I build content around those topics. So I know when I post something, it's going to be engaging. And so it's very important to understand the recipe I have is much different than these big, robotic social media companies. And finally, consultative. I do one-on-one phone consultations every month. So what you get with me is a one-on-one consultative meeting every month. So you know what each social media account's doing, how it's performing, how much progress you made since last month, and what strategy we're using to get more progress for the month ahead. So again, you know at all times, you're not getting these reports that look like a foreign language. You know what's going on. You know the statistics, and most importantly, you're communicating with me on your feedback so I can make sure we're delivering on your objectives as a dentist. So hopefully this has been productive. When you look at your social media presence out there, whether you've just plain neglected it, or whether you don't understand it, whether you're looking for a more cost-effective solution, don't hesitate to reach out. I'd love to hear from you. My consultations are free. You can reach me, direct number 951-696-7550. If you prefer, you can email me. Email is scott@webdgs, as in dentalgrowthsolutions.com. Thanks again. Hope to speak to you soon.